first thing you do is you recognize that the thought that you are having is negative. This helps to slow down the potential velocity of the thought. So you slow it down. Recognize it is negative. So a negative thought is only going to see everything that is negative. That's all it's going to do. Recognize that first and foremost, yeah? You will feel uncomfortable. Recognize that. All right, this is all in part one. A compassionate view is like caring for a puppy, tending to a newborn baby, being in a really soft, relaxing position. That is compassion. And that's what it sounds like, and that's what it feels like. Hello and welcome. My name is Disree Shaw and welcome to another episode of The Tortured Superhero. I'm a psychotherapist. I practice at the Priory and privately. I'm on a mission to make therapy accessible and change the world one thought at a time. Dealing with negative thoughts, how to be self-compassionate. I have been linking the ploys of superheroes to that of men, linking their trauma and emotional mental well-being to that of the tortured superheroes, Spider-Man, Hulk, many other superheroes in the Marvel comic series who do suffer quite a lot with mental emotional issues, such as men. And who do they turn to? Don't know. Not many men talk about how they feel. Not many men share that they are actually feeling quite low. So this is about self-compassion. Dealing with negative thoughts, dealing with anxiety, dealing with anger, dealing with all of the negative, uncomfortable things that happen. So if you are familiar with Spider-Man Far Away From Home, there was a point where he'd been a superhero and he was tired and he needed a break. So he went on a school trip. And on that school trip, he was determined to just have some me time. However, Aunt May packed his Spidey outfit and he was not separate from the world. He was very much in it and very much involved in all the catastrophes. Now he was trying to embark on some self-compassion by noticing what he needed. So in this video I'm going to explain how to be self-compassionate. So self-compassion is about being realistic, logical and self-accepting of you. When you're realistic about a situation, you're being compassionate to yourself. When you're logical, you're also being compassionate. And when you're accepting of who you are, that is self-compassion. When you are compassionate, you can deal with anything that life throws at you because you will be compassionate first before you embark on dealing with the issue. Anxiety and depression and anger take you away from now and force you into your fight, flight, freeze, which is your natural way of dealing with a perceived threat, be it imminent danger. You'll either flight, try and get away, you'll fight, lash out, or you'll freeze. Now, self-compassion supports you not to do that. It supports you to act and respond. So I'm going to give you an example of how negative self-talk can keep you trapped and how a compassionate response can release you. So anything negative is going to keep you trapped because it only sees the bad. Self-compassion is like a doorway. It's like a way of you being able to open the door and go somewhere else. Try something different and do something more supportive for yourself. So for example, a negative thought. People are going to think I'm stupid. This is sometimes an often very common thought where we assume negative judgment by others and we self-damn thinking that we are stupid. This is a very rigid thought. There is no way forward for this thought to help you in any shape or form. So a compassionate response to that thought would be something like this. People have the right to think what they want to think because they do. You can't control what people think, okay? Anything you want to do has nothing to do with anybody else, and anything they want to do has nothing to do with you. So firstly, people have the right to think anything they want. They might think you're stupid. They might think that you're all right. They might be thinking about their dinner for tomorrow. Even if they think you are stupid, doesn't mean that you are stupid. It's tolerating the discomfort of an uncomfortable situation. You are not stupid because you are a whole person and you cannot be judged on one thing alone. So to counteract that negative thought, you will take into consideration that you're a whole person, you cannot be judged on one thing that somebody else deems you to be stupid about, and people can think what they want. It doesn't mean it's true. This is how you become self-compassionate towards yourself. It's a bit different to the self-love, all good feeling, I'm going to do this because I'm living my best life. That's a different kind of way of looking at yourself and putting yourself first. Self-compassion allows you to look after yourself and those around you. So the first thing you do is you recognize that the thought that you are having is negative. This helps to slow down the potential velocity of the thought. So you slow it down. Recognize it is negative. So a negative thought is only going to see everything that is negative. That's all it's going to do. Recognize that first and foremost, yeah? You will feel uncomfortable. Recognize that. All right, this is all in part one. A compassionate view is like caring for a puppy, tending to a newborn baby, being in a really soft, relaxing position. That is compassion. And that's what it sounds like, and that's what it feels like. A negative thought will feel like one of those hospital emergency waiting room metal chairs. And if you feel like that, then it's extremely uncomfortable. So recognize that it's a negative thought, and a negative thought is uncomfortable. That's one. Being compassionate slows down the negative thought. So by you slowing down the negative thought, you get to recognize that you're in a place that you do not like. So being compassionate helps to slow it down, and it supports you to be your real, true self. So once you've done that, the next thing you do is you locate the negative thought. You locate it. You write it down. How harsh it is. However difficult it feels. You write down that negative thought. And then, once you've done that, you'll notice how harsh and unforgiving it is. You'll notice how rigid it is. You want to bear it out and you want to expose it. When you keep a negative thought stuck in your head, you're not being compassionate to yourself. Okay, so you write it down. And then you compassionately respond. And when you compassionately respond, you notice that you're giving yourself some support, some awareness, and some self-love. Some ability to give yourself some space in order to deal with the problem. That's what being self-compassionate is all about. So thoughts are just thoughts. That's all they are. They can be extremely powerful. So knowing what you're doing with your thoughts is very important. And I will be talking about that in the next video, how powerful your thoughts are. My name is Disree Shaw. I'm a psychotherapist and I vlog and podcast about mental health, men's mental health awareness. You can listen to my podcast on a Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and watch out for the Tortured Superhero series, which is out every single Monday. I'm on a mission to make therapy accessible and change the world one thought at a time. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, we are only human. And as humans, we are fallible. And because we are fallible, we make mistakes, and that's okay. We can change. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.
That was so easy.
That was easy.
That felt really easy.
Yeah. Do you know why? I say this in every single session. That one was, yeah. And I'm partly thinking about having some oxtail and rice and a dumpling.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so hungry. All right.